Welcome to the bold analysis today, the first day of March 2025. This is my birthday month. Yeah, just today to my birthday. And we thank God for the gift of life. Thank you very much for supporting this podcast. In this month of March, we have a project. The tables are turning about the Ruto-Raila deal that Hassan Joho Junet battalion pushed in Mombasa last week. It is very regrettable that Raila is pretending to be consulting the support base about his next move, while in real sense, he seemed to know what exactly he wants to tell the same support base. What has been packaged as consultative forums seem to be facing a serious backlash from the voting base. And in this podcast, we are going to take you behind the closed door. What exactly is in the document? And why is Edwin Sifuna uncomfortable attending the meetings to seal the deal? Will Raila head to State House next week? Watch this podcast to the end. Ladies and gentlemen, this month of March, we are heading to Kakamega, place called Musanda, Granny Care. These elderly women you're seeing here are our project for this month. We are going to support them, build 3 houses, and also provide 5 wheelchairs for the disabled. We have a long week. We are going to have a long week in Kakamega. Kindly partake of this project, partake of this as we bless the elderly in Kakamega. Thank you. I need 5 wheelchairs. I already have one. One of our subscribers already given me one. So I need to buy 4 wheelchairs. A wheelchair goes to around 18,000. 4, and we are also going to build 3 houses for the elderly there, the wazee sana, and elderly widowed, and some are also disabled. Ladies and gentlemen, help us achieve Kakamega Elderly Mission. A donation of at least 100 bob. I put all the details there. Kindly reach out so that we can be a blessing to these members of this society. They are really, if you look at those ones in the grass-thatched houses, I'm told when it rains, it leaks in the whole place in a kamaji. And they are also widowed. Really, hawana the wazes. So they're just staying there with a very low support system. Kindly, let's support this. I want to say thank you for the area chief that has really brought this to us. And also, we believe that we will work with the community. On Tuesday, we will build those houses. It is possible. Kidogo kidogo ujeza kibaba. Send us any amount you have. 150 to almost 100,000 in this channel. If each one of us can contribute 50 bob, how much can we do? Or even not all of us, even if 10,000 of us can contribute 50 bob, just make your calculation. We can be able to achieve it. Kindly, let's support. We have a long way, but we've never failed. This is our 30th project since 2022. A very special one for me. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nation reports that Raila Odinga and William Ruto have Raila Odinga and William Ruto meeting in Mombasa reportedly came up with a power sharing deal. Raila demanding 50% of the cabinet slots, and on top of this are principal secretaries, appointments, and parliamentary positions that are also supposed to change in the National Assembly. However, Odinga is in a crisis. What, according to him in Mombasa, looked like an opportunity to rape from the government is facing a serious backlash from the voters. And even the leadership, some MPs, here is Peter Salasia, telling Raila off about that decision.
Wewe sasa tunataka kuanalyze maneno ya huyu mzee anatuambia hapa.
Sasa nimesema siku ya leo tukisherekea. Baba amerudi na nimesema nitakuja kuuliza watu wangu wote.
Amerudi kufanya nini? Wewe wakati ulikuwa unaenda kusimama kura ya huko AUC uliuliza watu na hiyo msiembe umebeba hiyo.
Unafuata watu wana sababu.
Haufuati mtu wenye uko na sababu, kwa sababu wewe hakuna sera ambayo uko nayo, na kuuliza Raila hakuna sera ambayo uko nayo. Hakuna kitu unatetea wewe. Sasa nakwambia hakuna kitu unasema. Hakuna mtu umetetea. Wakati watu wanauliwa hapa leo, wewe ulikuwa unaenda hapo kufanya nini? Hakuna chungu hapo, chungu imeoza. Hakuna
ugatuzi tumeleta, lakini haifanyi kazi sawa sawa.
Hakuna. Wewe wakati umeanguka kura ndio unaanza kuona Wakenya. Unaanza kuona Wakenya sasa ndio wazuri.
Sasa tumesema siku ya leo tunaelekea.
Tunakujua sana. Acha tena tunarudi kuanalyze mambo yako.
Sasa tumesema
wanafanya Wakenya wanafikiria watu wa Kenya ni wajinga. Sasa tumesema wewe na tulikuwa tumekuambia. Wakakuambia ukaenda Gen Z ukausupport Adani. Sasa unarudi kwanza kusumbua hapa watu. Sasa tumerudi. Umerudi. Kwani nani alikuwa amekutuma huko kwa Ruto?
Some members of the clergy had also come out publicly and even going to the pulpit to pray that the deal should collapse before even it is signed.
This morning, I saw Raila Odinga the other time going from place to place with the pretext of consulting people on what to do. I have said this several times before, and I will say again. Ruto is an agent of the devil, and it does not mean good for this nation. It does not mean good for the people of Kenya. For Raila to say that he's going around Kenya collecting views of his supporters, whether to work with Ruto or not, it is like telling people that you're consulting them so that you can go in bed with Satan. Now, because the old man looks confused and he's in a dilemma, he doesn't know what to do right now, even after prophecy have come for him to stay away from Ruto. I now want to help him, and I'm going to help him. Father, in the name of Jesus, by virtue of your gospel, I am an apostle and a prophet. Raila Odinga is working. He wants to work with William Ruto to destroy our country, so that Ruto will continue defiling our churches, so that Ruto will continue oppressing our people, so that Ruto will continue abducting our children, killing them, and destroying our economy. This is a company, a union, a partnership of evil, of wickedness, which can only be made from hell. As an apostle with authority to oversee the affairs of the nations of the earth, I hereby stand and declare war between Ruto and Raila. Father, let that war erupt now between their kitchen cabinet and themselves. Let them fight like there was a war, confusion, God, between the children of Ammon and Mount Seir and the children of Moab, and they fought each other, God, to the advantage of the children of Israel. So let Ruto and Raila fight to the advantage of Kenyans in the mighty name of Jesus. Father, you know this union is based on the foundation of the blood of Kenyans. Father, intervene divinely. As an apostle, I call upon your name and I bring this union to an abrupt end in the mighty name of Jesus. They will sit, they will speak, they will not agree. They will sit, they will speak, they will fight. They will sit, they will speak. There's going to be confusion in the name of Jesus.
But then, in this podcast, what exactly happened? Why is it facing backlash? We are going into the boardroom fights, the boardroom differences, and how Raila is finding himself in a very uncomfortable situation. Immediately after Mombasa, Raila flew to Kisumu and held a closed-door meeting with Kisumu leadership. And in this meeting, he announced to those who are attending that part of his on what he was planning is to support William Ruto until 2027, and that was the direction he wanted to give the country. Anyang' Nyong'o and other attendees in that meeting, however, differed with Odinga, telling Raila Odinga that supporting William Ruto is suicidal to his political fortune, to the political party, and even his own political legacy. And having found it difficult, immediately after that meeting, the information leaked out, and the nation told the country the details of all this. Raila, having realized that from that night, the country showed rage, had to change tactic, had to change the tone. If you look at the subsequent meetings in Siaya, Homa Bay, and Migori, Odinga initially was supposed to meet the voters directly. Kisumu meeting was rushed, but the meeting in Siaya, the meeting in Homa Bay, and the meetings in Migori was supposed to directly meet the voters. But because the intelligence around had informed him of an impending no from the voters, he decided to retract and, of course, have close, thin, narrow, closed-door meetings. These meetings are normally scripted. If you want to know the real feelings of the people, you go to talk to the people directly. And putting a question, and even though the intelligence team were hoping and had really asked Odinga to put a direct question to voters, whether they support him to work with William Ruto or not, that was the question that was expected. Odinga decided not to put that question to the voter because he knew that if he dare ask that directly, there is going to be a resounding no from the crowd, and that would have really not worked well for him. Now, he sensed that danger because the voters were projecting his decision as that of a traitor, and then decided, and I want you to listen to speech from Siaya, a section of the speech from Siaya and Migori. The two speeches from Siaya and Migori, he was even at pains to explain and say that I am not going to betray you people. In Siaya, he was even calling out Kenya Kwanza on the failed policies.
I can say that these people have given me a carte blanche. That is a blank check. I can write an amount on it. They have said that they have faith in what you're going to do and that they will support what you do because they know that it's going to be in the interest of our people. They're not going to betray our people in whatever we do. What we do must be something that is done in the best interest of the people of Kenya. Kenya has been rated as one of the best in the world. Kenya. But to ensure that all the provisions of our constitution are fully implemented. We want to take bad governance to the museum. We don't want to see our youth being abducted and then taken to some unknown places, tortured and some of them killed. That must be something of the past. We don't want to see corruption reigning in our country. That Kenya is rated as one of the most corrupt countries in the world. We will fight corruption and finish corruption in our country. We want to see what you call equitable allocation of resources and sharing. No part of the country should be neglected. Development should be equal.
And this kind of speech tells you the level of confusion that Raila Odinga finds himself into. And this is a confusion that he himself is brought up. Ruto handlers are uncomfortable with the fact that Raila Odinga seemed to be taking a position of criticizing the government since they are willing to cede ground and offer his demands. In Busia, something interesting happened. When ODM converged in some primary school there, Another parallel meeting was organized by some other people and some other politicians around there, and were protesting about Ruto killing some Gen Zs. And it was a clear message to Raila about, even as you push through, you will understand that people are not comfortable with it.
ODM wamesusia mkutano wa chama hicho ambao ulihudhuriwa na kinara Raila Odinga eneo la Bukiri, kaunti ndogo ya Funyula, na badala yake kuandaa hafla mbadala mjini Busia, huku wakiwakumbuka wenzao waliouawa kwenye maandamano mbalimbali nchini.
Tunapokuja kufanya maombi kwa sababu ya ndugu zetu waliouawa wakati wa maandamano, wakitetea haki ya watu ambao wamefinywa, haki ya watu ambao wamekandamizwa, haki ya watu ambao hawawezi kusikika. Leo hii tunawaambia ndugu zetu, ijapokuwa mumepumzika, nendeni salama. Hapa nyuma bado tunang'ang'ana, hapa nyuma hatutatishika, tutasimama kidete.
Leo hii mkiangalia hapa picha, hapa kuna mtu anaitwa Frederick Onyango alias Jakogalo. Hapa chini kuna mtu anaitwa Pascal Owino. Huyo tulimzika hapa Ugenya. Huyu Frederick Onyango Jakogalo tulimzika pale Game. Ni mko wangu. Leo wanataka twende tusherekee.
Kura ya ODM ya wananchi wa Busia hawakupiga ni kwa sababu ya kunyanyazwa. Kura ya ODM ya wananchi wa Busia hawakupiga ni kwa sababu ya kuuawa. Kura ya wananchi wa Busia hawakupiga ni kwa sababu ya kubomolewa, inaitwa bomoa.
Aidha, wafuasi hao wamemsuta gavana kaunti ya Busia Dr. Paul Otuoma kwa kupeleka hafla hiyo mashinani badala ya kufanyia mkutano huo mjini Busia ili kuwezesha watu kutoka maeneo bunge yote 7 kuhudhuria.
These people are talking about the Gen Z protest. So I want to tell you, just let me take a minute and say something about the Busia rally. Myself, I was paying attention. I was traveling all the way from Mombasa coming back to Nairobi yesterday. I traveled, of course, yesterday. So I was paying attention. I followed that event on phone, and there is something I was paying attention because that was the first time that Raila was going to talk to Wanjiku one-on-one. That was the time Raila was going to talk to his support base one-on-one. And in Busia is where ODM has a massive following. The whole of Western Wing, Nairobi, the whole of Western Nyanza, in the whole of this country, the place where ODM has a massive following is Busia. So I was keen. He never went directly to say about, I am going to enter into a deal with William Ruto. And he's making the country to second guess. But behind the closed doors, he's talking about it. And now that tells you that Raila himself is even afraid of making that position because he knows the danger that comes with. So I want us to get to the next bit of it. What exactly is in that document and the boardroom fight about that document? Remember, this month of March, we are supporting elderly women in Kakamega. 3 houses, we need to build 3 houses and provide 5 wheelchairs. 100 bob challenge this month for that. That is our project for the month of March. It will go all the way and I'll make sure that we achieve it. So kindly find it in your heart to support these elderly. Edwin Sifuna, who is the ODM Secretary General, is reported to have abstained from the pact meeting, that agreement meeting. He's supposed to sign it, of course, to fine-tune it with the UDA Secretary General Hassan Omar, who was also not in Mombasa, Junet and the House leadership, Millie Odhiambo, and some others from the ODM side in the National Assembly are part of the team, and William Ruto's lawyers and Raila Odinga's lawyers are part of the team that formed the committee to formulate that agreement and put it down to paper. So, this is what Orengo was also saying, that we should not just get into an agreement blindly. You need structured agreement. You need a structured engagement. That is what Orengo was talking about all along. So Edwin Sifuna was supposed to be part of this, has not signed. It is understood that he's not been part of that process from the onset. Remember, he has been very consistent. One of the most consistent politicians in Kenya today is Edwin Sifuna. And to know that things are thick, on Thursday, Raila Odinga was supposed to be the chief guest in launching of an ODM office in Bungoma. He skipped the meeting. He was supposed to be in Migori, in Homa Bay. Then after Homa Bay, he was supposed to fly to Bungoma to officially launch an ODM office. He skipped that meeting, and Edwin Sifuna and Caleb Hamisi were the ones that attended, but their speeches were so clear. They took a stand about it. So Raila understood that in Busia already, in Bungoma, the ground was charged. And it was not easy for him to go and speak about he will support William Ruto. You understand, even Caleb Amisi and Sifuna took a position and were talking about the fact that they have been shortchanged in the ODM House leadership committees. Raila is fearing the backlash to be against, and remember, President Ruto is vouching for a state function, just like the 208 Grand Coalition agreement with Raila, with Mwai Kibaki. William Ruto is planning that if this agreement is to be signed, it will be signed in State House, a state event with Raila Odinga's allies and Raila Odinga himself publicized in the national television and made public. Then deals are signed. Then after that, a cabinet reshuffle is mooted so that it conforms with such an agreement. Joho, Mbadi, and a host of other cabinet members are pushing for this deal because they claim that William Ruto is unpredictable and the cabinet slots would actually be in the chopping board if the marriage is not formalized. I wonder, ODM is in a rush to formalize a deal with Ruto over cabinet slots. Do Mount Kenya have a deal with William Ruto? No, they don't have. But how many cabinet members do they have? Many. They have many. So why is the team, why are the Kagwes and Kabogos not pushing for a political deal with William Ruto? Why is the Nyanza team, why is the ODM being pushed to sign a deal? So if ODM signs a deal, that is the only insurance of Joho and Mbadi's being in cabinet. And I wonder, I'm not seeing Oparanya talking about the broad-based shenanigan. I'm not seeing Oparanya in the picture. I'm not seeing the Beatrice as school in the picture. But ODM is blindly being pushed into this. So one thing I want to say, Raila Odinga camp, I've looked at those things called consultative forums, those events called consultative forums. And there is clearly something that Raila is not telling the voters. And because he's not saying it now, that deal is going to backfire. Because it's not telling the voters, and that is something that the voters can look in the eyes of Raila and tell him, Raila, this is not what you're not. This is not what you're telling us. Kindly subscribe to our channel and kindly support our Kakamega elderly mission. We are building 3 houses for the elderly in Kakamega, of course, a place called Musanda, if I'm not wrong, and we're also offering wheelchairs. So it's a huge budget, but I believe kidogo kidogo hujaza kibaba. Find it in your place. You can also contribute. You can also buy a wheelchair. If you have one, you can also forward. Now I will be able to pick it so that as we go there on Tuesday, we'll be able to accomplish it. The 50% cabinet share is a conduit of looting. Why would Raila demand 50% cabinet slot? What for? Is it that now he's going to pass policies? Is it that now if he's given help, then he's going to abolish SHA and bring NHIF? No. And those things are not going to have a tangible impact on the people. Mount Kenya have the cabinet, and there is a way government operates. The budget is passed in the National Assembly. The cabinet is chaired by the president. Raila Odinga is not part of that cabinet. The cabinet is going to worship, is following President Ruto's directives. So even if you are given that cabinet slot as you may be vouching for, there is no significant impact that Wanjiku is going to see. And apart from it being a place to steal. And one thing Raila is not telling his voters is William Ruto wants to go and campaign with him. In the next 2 years that Ruto wants to campaign, he wants to go and campaign with Raila. I don't know how Raila will say no after spending 1 year or 2 years campaigning with William Ruto. Because what William Ruto does in those things called development projects is just campaign rallies. Justice for those killed during the protest are ignored. But there is a difference. The fact that people protested against Ruto regime in 2024 and people are killed and abducted, there is a difference. Something is going to happen. The country is going to demand that. And in 2027, one way or the other, people will vote along how Ruto reacted after the 2024 protest. Ruto is unable to achieve the projects paraded, and that card is unavailable. William Ruto and Raila Odinga will not be able to show his support base the things that have been achieved because he worked with Ruto. Ruto is not working with Raila so that they can complete projects in Nyanza. No. His thinking is if I get Raila, I will get political goodwill. So even if I don't achieve, I'll be able to parade it. Now, Raila will not be able to explain that I supported Ruto and this is what we achieved. If Ichunga was in an interview in Al Jazeera and Ichunga could not mention one project that William Ruto achieved, for the 2.5 years that they've been in power, the report is showing that out of the 281 promises they made, only 14 have been achieved. Raila have a long way. On this one, is getting it wrong. Thank you.